Hey guys, it's Jonathan here again today. A few of you have been asking about speed tips. How do you play faster? Unfortunately, my metronome's broken today, so we're not going to pull that one out on you, but it basically comes down to eating your vegetables, as I'm sure your mama told you when you were smaller. Basically, you got to practice your scales. That's the plain and simple. So pick a scale. I'll go back to the pentatonic here because it's nice and easy for time being. But just start playing it through. Until you puke. Pretty much. A few tips though. When you practice your scales, I like to start right open. Oops. And then go up a fret. And then another fret. And just keep on doing this until you puke too. Right? So go all the way up the fretboard as high as you can reach, and then go all the way back down the fretboard as high as well, you can only go so far, right? So that's a good thing. What you could do is, if you're doing it with a metronome, start open at say 60 beats a minute, and then you know what, every time you move up a fret, increase it by 1 beat per minute, and just try to keep up. Or you know, adjust it to your skill level, right? Maybe you get to start at 80 beats a minute or something like that. But as you're playing, just try to hit each note clearly along with the metronome. And maybe I'll do a video on that separately some other time, but just focus. I would encourage you also to practice, if you're playing electric, practice clean. Don't use your distortion. Distortion, use your talent button if you need to, when you're performing or something like that, to cover over, smooth over the mistakes and stuff like that. But when you're practicing, you really want to just aim for accuracy. What else is there? Oh, picking. When you're picking, you want to pick in a down-up pattern. Always down-up. It took me, unfortunately, when I started practicing my scales, I would kind of do whatever I wanted when I was practicing them in terms of the picking hand. But if you really want to go for speed, you need to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that means even when you're crossing strings, you always keep the down-up pattern, right? So if you start down, your next note is up, then your next note down, then next note up, down, up, etc., right? So, and just practice that one. And unfortunately, that was one thing that I had to relearn because I was doing it all wrong. I can't even remember now what I was doing before, but I distinctly remember having to go through and relearn that, because that was a serious impediment to letting my speed flow properly. But you need to be able to just get that so you're constantly down, up, down, up, down, up, because that way you don't have to think about this hand nearly as much as before, right? Before in my case anyways, you're sitting there and some part of your brain has to manually think, what am I going to do next, right? With this hand. But the trick is to get this hand on total autopilot. This hand just follows this one, and they work together as a team, and it's like this hand takes instructions from this one, right? So when I put my finger on that string, I know that that's the one I got to pluck. So the down up thing is definitely a big part of speed. Another trick you can do is if you want to sound fast, you can throw in some chromatic notes, chromatic passing notes. That's kind of a fun one to play. It's not true chromatic because you need 5 frets to get a full fourth, because of the semitones in there too. But in terms of a guitar player, you're getting 4 out of the 5 notes on each string. So and when you're playing that fast, it's definitely possible. You're not going to notice that you're missing a semitone in there. What you do there is, I'm not actually down upping on each string. Actually, I'm cheating in that particular example. what I'm doing is I'm just plucking once and then hammering on the next 3 notes, right? So I'm actually hammering on, and if you crank your amp up, you're really going to hear, you know, even just the minor little hammer-ons. But the other thing you can do is just practice that exact same thing, plucking every note properly in a down up formation. Right, so that's everyone's down up. I won't give you the chord pattern because it's literally you're hitting every single note between the 5th fret and the 8th fret, and you're using, you know, you're just assigning 1 finger per fret, right? And you hit absolutely everything in the meantime. So you should be able to figure that out. What's another thing here? For speed, yeah, basically the big one though really is just practicing your scales, getting used to them, getting comfortable with them. The more and more that you get comfortable with the scale, that you know exactly where you are in the scale, then you know, it becomes automatic. That's what you need to do, is you just need to train your fingers until they're automatically working for you. So you know, practice the scales that you like. I really like the diatonic minor scale. I'll do a separate video on that probably soon. But you know, pentatonic, definitely a great place to start. Excellent place to start. That chromatic one is kind of fun. It can make you sound really fast. You can toss little chromatic things, like little riffs in too, in places, right? Sounds pretty good, right? And all I'm doing is I'm just going through an octave of chromatic passing notes. And then I end on the octave, right? And that's important when you're doing the chromatic thing, because you don't want to end like a, you know, a half tone off of where you want to be, because it's going to sound terrible. Like if I went, oops. It sounds terrible, right? You want to end on the octave. You want to know where you're heading. And that's something you can think about prior to, you know, doing your riff. Like I'm playing an A minor 7, so I know I want to end on an A octave, right? Or you could end on a 5, a 5th of where I'm playing, which is an E. And I know we haven't talked about any of that, you know, the relationships between chords and stuff like that yet, but we'll probably get into some of that a little bit later. But I hope those tips are helpful for you as you're trying to improve your speed. The biggest thing though is eat your vegetables, man. You just got to practice and practice and practice until you puke. Just keep on doing it, keep on doing it, keep on doing it, keep on doing it. Do it faster and faster, preferably with the metronome, because it helps keep your timing consistent. That's a big important thing too, right? You don't want to be speeding up and slowing down. Then the band's going to be wondering what the heck you're doing. But practice with the metronome. Practice your scales daily. Set aside a certain amount of time just to practice scales. And go all the way up the fretboard, all the way down the fretboard, all the way up the fretboard, and all the way down the fretboard. And then just try speeding it up, And then if you want, throw in the chromatic passing notes. It sounds cool, and you can use it in different places. But there's no two ways about it. The only way, I can't ship you a pill in the mail that's going to make you a speed demon on guitar. The only way is basically putting in the time and practicing. So, and don't forget the down up picking. That's also a big one too. Once you get over that, that'll kind of knocks away a few roadblocks, so you can really just kind of speed up progressively faster and faster and faster. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed that. Have fun, and let me know how it's going too. Leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.